Welcome to Wizards Outlook, everyone. We got Raymond Lyons, Cardo Dudley Jr., and Wilson Tucker Jr. the Washington Wizards. They hold off the Bucks 109 to 99 to take the season series 3 games to 1. Cardo and I talked a little bit about that leading into the game with Washington having a chance to win a season series, which you got to take your dubs where you can get them. Ray, your thoughts on Washington having a season series win over the Eastern Conference foe like Milwaukee?
Yeah, man, it was a good win. Like you said, they pretty much dominated the Bucks throughout the season. Uh, really, this game, only thing to really criticize is they shot the ball poorly, and the defense down the stretch kind of wavered a little bit. But they obviously did enough to hold on. For a lot of this game, the Wizards treated the Bucks kind of how teams treat them. They saw a wounded team, and they took advantage. Like I said, they didn't shoot the ball well, but for a bulk of the game, they were pretty aggressive. Um, and definitely at one point, our started to kind of impose his will more. It was during the third quarter. They always have the issues where the opposing team just kind of comes out with a little more energy after halftime. But yeah, they were able to hold them off. Like I said, really the only thing that hurt them was the poor shooting. And again, they nullified that. They outperformed the Bucks at the free throw line. They made 25 to 20 free throws. The Bucks only made 7 to 9. That's a huge difference in a 10-point game. They also dominated them on the boards, 61-43. You see a team with no Giannis in the lineup, and that should be your attitude. Their biggest, strongest players out. We should be more physically imposing than they are. Uh, they took care of the ball fairly well. They only had 13 turnovers. The Bucks only had 9, but again, they did enough to get the win, and that's pretty much all you ask for.
Cardell.
Yeah, the Wizards won the game on the margin. The big thing is the bench. The bench outscored Milwaukee's bench 41-21. That's a big gap for production, man. And Bub and Justin Champagne had pretty much half of that. They got it done tonight. They were huge off the bench. And then you got to look at Ray mentioned the turnovers. You got to look at the second chance points with the Wizards winning the rebound battle. So they won their second chance points 23-13, which was huge because we all know Miles Turner when he's locked in can rebound, and we all know Kuz is capable. They got a lot of guys that can scrap and go in there and use boards, man. So it was important to keep them off the boards and win that, so you can limit their possessions because they're the type of team that can get hot and start making threes, and it can be a different game. They won second chance points. They won the bench points, and then um, you know they got to the line a lot more. They were attacking at will. 25 or 28 to 7 to 9. That's huge. And you can see the Bucks throughout the game was complaining about the lack of foul calls down here, but they weren't really going up strong. They were just trying to hopefully get a bailout call. And tonight the rest wasn't going for it, but the Wizards were going hard in the paint. You know what I mean? They was willing to take the contact, and that's why they were rewarded. But all in all, the Wizards just won on the margins. The bench outplayed Milwaukee's bench, and the starters gave you enough. And the wild part is, you know, 3 games. Like look out for the 4 players: Portis, Kuzma, Turner, and Ryan Rollins, and they all had productive nights. But it shows you how the Wizards won this game. Like I said, with the margin type statistical categories, where a lot of people kind of ignore that. They won those convincingly, and that's why they were able to get a double-digit win. I also feel like if Ryan Rollins was playing well. If he didn't get foul trouble in the first half, who knows how the game could have went, because he came out in the third quarter, he was strong, you know what I'm saying? And that's what made it the game. It looked like the Wizards about to blow the game open. He came back in the third, and now it's a game all the way to the very end. So, yeah, man, just It's good, good win, man. They just keep stacking wins, man. But you're not gonna give them a trophy for beating a Bucks team that they've already beaten with Giannis, without Giannis. You know what I mean? So it just is what it is.
All right, as always, this is up on the screen. Who you guys have for player of the game?
For me, it's Alex Sarr, 16 to 17, couple blocks, 6 to 13. Him and Miles Turner was going at it. Like he's out of that young core, the young core we keep talking about. He's the guy because he's starting. Before it was like you could see flashes of him playing good against other, big name, big men. Now he's starting to match it consistently. Now the next step for him is just to overtake them and dominate them consistently, and that's when the Wizards will take a lead. But he's well on his way.
Right.
Yeah, no debate from me. He, like I said, once he started to really put his imprint on the game, things kind of turned for the Wizards. His 17 rebounds was huge. Like Adele pointed out, it was imperative that they win that battle. He was a big part of that.
All right. Last but not least, X Factor.
Um, I'm gonna give it to. I might have to go with Koulibaly for what he did defensively on Kuz. He frustrated Kuz. Kuz had 19, but if I'm not mistaken, like yeah, I was right. Yeah, he held on. He held on to a pretty inefficient night, 8 to 18. And you saw Kuz trying to get aggressive to try to will them to a win or whatnot, but he couldn't do it. Bilal was locked in on him. Then I like Bilal's production. He didn't really play outside himself. He had 8 points to 10 rebounds, but he was 3 of 6 from the field, which is efficient. He had the highest plus minus of anybody on the Wizards with a 14. So that shows you what was going on defensively, how he was all over the place. But yeah, he was frustrating. He was frustrated. Kuz maybe switching on Ryan Rollins when Ryan Rollins got going, and he's the one that shut off Rollins' water. Before then, when Kuz started going, he got on Kuz. So whoever showed some momentum, he got on him and checked that. And that it was huge. They were making many runs in the fourth quarter where it looked like they was getting closer and close to chipping away and taking the lead. And he kind of stopped the guy that was doing most of the scoring. Then the Wizards got back to scoring, and then that's how they were able to expand the lead and maintain it and win.
Right. Different candidate.
No, I feel like this is perpetually Justin Champagne's award, but I like the I like the Bilal pick. His defensive versatility is very important to this team. Like Ardell said, he's able to guard up and down the depth chart, and depending on who's hurting the Wizards at the time, and being able to just switch on them and make their life difficult is huge.
All right. Well, for the Wizards, that's back-to-back wins. They got two more games this weekend. They'll be back in Capital One tomorrow when they host the Los Angeles Lakers. And I think they have the Kings on Sunday. So we'll see you guys tomorrow for pregame and outlook.